So you're out on a date with a woman, but you're a little bit nervous and don't know how to break the ice and build that attraction. You've been on dates before where it didn't work out. Not because you didn't find each other physically attractive, but because the date was quite formal and boring and you didn't feel you were on the same page. Well, this time you definitely don't want to go down the interviewer route where you come across as asking scripted questions. So what do? Well, here are 5 tips to help in being playful and flirtatious so she feels this chemistry with you. So stay tuned.
Mr. Healthy Love.
Hi, I'm Mr. Healthy Love, your dating and relationship coach. And today I'm going to kick things off by talking about some tips and behaviors that help to keep the conversation going with someone new and to make sure that she feels that there is chemistry with you and wants to see you again to find out more about you. So let's start by saying there's nothing better than owning who you are and saying things in your own style. So make sure whatever you say is true to you and coming from who you are. It doesn't matter what I say because showing your own humor and being yourself is going to mean you feel comfortable, and this will be reflected on the date and allow her to feel at ease. So accepting yourself and who you are is going to be the major factor in how she will feel when around you. And therefore, this video is only going to show guidelines of things you can say to help build that rapport. You can use some of them or none of them, and there still won't be a right or wrong way to speak. But just remember, if she doesn't accept you for who you are, then she probably isn't the right woman for you. How many men try to be something they're not to try to impress a woman and then not be able to keep up the act and her ending up thinking you lack any authenticity? So try to keep as close to your authentic self and you won't go wrong. But let's start with some tips that can help you along the way to point you in the right direction of what can help with building rapport. So tip number 1 is going to be treat her like your little sister. That's right. Now, this may sound counterproductive, you may ask, because why would you want to treat her like your sibling? But the thing is, there's something about siblings that wind each other up and playfully dig at each other which can be recreated when dating. If you have a sibling, you'll probably remember that you used to playfully tease each other to the point of arguing, but you knew deep down that this was just a brotherly or sisterly love, and as much as the other wound you up, it was all fun and games at the end of the day. Well, you can use this same banter to your advantage in dating. Being playful is not much different to how you used to be as a silly child. So playing a fun war and whoever wins gets to choose what cocktails to order next, or saying you're quite ticklish and you can't have people poking you, is only going to want her to test that out and see how ridiculous you look when she pokes you in the side of the ribs. Any kind of light-hearted game is going to allow her to feel more comfortable around you and allow her to enjoy the time with you. So remember that any game that seemed fun as a child is probably going to provoke similar fun and positive vibes today. Now, tip number 2 is to create an in-joke or secret. It's a way of creating camaraderie between the two of you. For example, maybe you make a mistake in a public setting and you are trying to cover your mistake up. Let's say you accidentally spilt a little bit of your drink on the sofa you're sitting on. You might try to cover it up with a cushion and say, let's not tell anyone else about this. Or maybe you're a little bit clumsy and tripped over a step and nearly fell over. By acting like it's your naughty little secret and trying not to bring it to everyone else's attention, it creates a bond that it's you and her against the world. Now, it doesn't have to be a clumsy mistake, but anything where you can have some sort of in-joke between the two of you can really create that little extra excitement and bond between the two of you. So, for example, if you both like a TV show and you like a character in it, you can say, who's your favorite character? Let's say she likes Game of Thrones, for example, and you ask who her favorite character is, and she says Queen of Dragons. You can then start making in-jokes relating to this. For example, you could say, where do you keep your dragons then? Or if the next day you saw her making eggs for breakfast, you could say, what are they? Your dragon's eggs? Or if you're getting the next round of drinks in, ask what she'd like and say, yes, my lady, as if you're serving the queen. As soon as you have some commonalities, you can use that to your advantage by using your wit to refer back to them in future situations. Build rapport based on commonalities between each other. Identify those commonalities and make intermittent but not too frequent references to those commonalities. If she's been saying how tidy she is and you notice how she puts her knife and fork on the table in a certain way, you can say, "Oh, I see, tidy." It's just a way to keep her mind on trying to work out what you're going to say next and show your level of intellect and humor. And this leads on to tip number 3, which is making fun of her. Now, you want the other person to know that it's all playful and fun as opposed to putting her down. So be careful about teasing anyone about their appearance unless you know that they're confident with who they are. But saying phrases such as, "Are you normally like this?" It's something that I like to do, but it works for me because I have quite a dry sense of humor. So adapt it to your own style. So you could say, for example, if she's talking very fast, but it's because she's flustered about something, you could say, "Do you normally talk this fast?" I would say it with a straight face, but the objective is for her to find it funny and laugh and try to justify why she's talking like that. It's not to try and put her down in any way. It's something quite difficult to explain, but timing is also very important and showing when it's right to say it. Another example is, let's say she's laughing hard at your joke and accidentally snorted. You could pick her up on that and say, "Do you normally snort like that?" And she'll laugh back and probably say, No, I don't know where that came from." Or you could say, "God, I just can't take you anywhere, can I? We're not going out in public again if you're like this." Saying things with a straight face keeps her on her toes and makes her wonder, did he really mean what he said? Surely not, he's just pulling my leg. Now, tip number 4 is to try to make her the villain. So saying anything like, "Hey, I need to be careful going out with you. You're leading me astray." Or, "God, you have a dirty mind," even if she wasn't implying anything of the sort. But it's how you've interpreted the situation to make her look bad. Or, "God, you're bad news. My mum always taught me to stay away from girls like you." Or if she offers to buy the next round and she's finished her drink before you, say, "Are you trying to get me drunk?" It just brings that extra humor into the conversation and it gets her thinking, because it's not necessarily how somebody would normally react in a day-to-day situation. If you can be the opposite of the norm, then you will never be boring to her. Any of these phrases turn the tables around and makes it sound like she's the troublemaker that you need to keep an eye on because you're the angelic, law-abiding citizen who wouldn't put a foot wrong. But you're also implying that you don't mind being a little naughty yourself. You're pushing her away and then dragging her back in with a compliment. And finally, tip number 5 is disqualifying yourself from being a suitor. Now, what do I mean by this? Again, this may sound counterproductive, but when used sparingly, it can elicit a response where she wants to earn your attention. So responding with phrases such as, "We'd never get on," or jokingly say, "Oh, that's it, you can leave now. We can never be together." When done in a playful way, she's going to find you more of a challenge and wonder how much you like her. A lot of guys want to qualify to a woman and show how much they like her and try to prove their worth to her. But by doing the complete opposite, it reverses the roles and makes her wonder if you believe that you are both compatible together. So saying anything along the lines of why you'd never get on or how you'd never work out romantically may sound counterintuitive, but it challenges her to justify why you would be a good match. So I hope you found these tips useful, and leave a comment on whether you've ever used any of them on dates before and which tip you want to try out the next time you're struggling with what to say on a date. And leave a like if you found this video valuable. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button and push the notification bell so that you can be notified every time I upload a new video. And don't forget to join the dating forum on my website at mrhealthylove.com, where you can ask dating questions that can be answered within the community, and if your question is picked, it will be answered on a future YouTube video. And if you're a woman watching this, there is also a women's channel specifically to help you with dating advice, which you can find in the description below or up here. And if you'd like any one-to-one coaching sessions, I do email and telephone coaching, which can be found on my website at mrhealthylove.com. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.
Mr. Healthy Love.